For those of you that have been watching the channel for a long time, you know that this big office move has been a big deal for about 2-3 months for me. Well, I'm officially moved in and I just couldn't wait to do a tour. So the tour you're about to see doesn't have the right lighting in place. There's still some stuff left out, but I just couldn't wait. So what I'm gonna do is do the tour now, mid-year 2020. End of the year, you'll see a tour with all the correct lighting, some more displays. I have so much I'm changing in here anyway. Also, I think if you're a member of the Extreme channel, you can actually check that out in this link. Not only do you get early access, but I think I'm gonna do a tour of the entire office, not just mine, to kind of show you what's going on. So check that out and that'll come later this year. But here we go. So we start with controlled access that you need a code, a fob, or Mr. X's thumbprint. So this is a lot of the stuff you're gonna see. I just couldn't wait to put all this stuff away. So you're gonna see some switch out parts, you're gonna see some boxes, some stuff laying on the ground. But here is the once over, and of course missing the lighting. And I was thinking about it today, I actually have so many more pieces coming to the office. I even have more shelving coming, so I might do a tour sooner than the 6 months. But here's kind of the layout for you guys. And if you've watched the channel recently, you've seen a few of the reviews from inside the office. And that's kind of where we'll start, just my little mini conference table. There's actually a big conference room right next to me. And here I have the custom X-Men Chibi Diorama. And the reason why I put it here is it doesn't really go with anything else. And it's kind of a cool centerpiece in the middle of the table, along with Iron Studios 1/10 scale Professor X. And I recently saw on Jem's video the whole line of these with the Sentinel. Check out the Gem Mint channel there if you haven't seen it before. But awesome lineup. I can't wait to get the whole thing.
That's what she said. Michael.
So very cool piece. I have reviewed this one. I've reviewed probably about half of this stuff. Typically the stuff I opened at home I reviewed, but there's quite a bit here that you will see new reviews on moving forward. So let's start over here just to the right of the door. Here we have my social distancing or COVID mask. Plus when the boss wears this around the office, it's even better for everybody. But we have my partially constructed Hulk wall, and we do have some empty spots because we have some new arrivals coming, some very soon. But let's go ahead and start with this pair up here. So most of my Hulks are 1/4 scale, meaning 4 times smaller than they would be in real life. And the top is kind of Hulk versus someone else. So we'll start with the Gladiator Sideshow Hulk. This is the exclusive version. I have done a review on this, and I purchased this because Planet Hulk, and I have a custom Silver Savage. This is actually almost right from the screen, not the screen, sorry, the comic book page, where they went head to head. Very cool. Next to them, we have the Sideshow Hulk versus Wolverine maquette. This is more 1/5, 1/6 scale. Mine's been repainted gray, while the head sculpt is not the traditional gray Hulk head sculpt. I still love it. The next is the custom Clash of Powers by ARP. This is a really unique, interesting piece. It's one of the pieces, probably the biggest piece I've ever seen, that when you see it in person, it looks so much better than it does on pictures or videos. I definitely think this takes the prize for that. It was hand sculpted, amazing piece, very heavy. Then we have my Old Man Logan piece. This is a custom 1/4 scale. If you read Old Man Logan, this is from the very end, after Hulk eats Logan. Kind of a spoiler there. Then we have a blank spot. I'm gonna make a little bit more room for a custom Green Hulk to face off against XM Studios Hulkbuster. You can see the darkness here. This is not the darkness, the character, but why I definitely need to get the lighting set up. But again, I was just too excited. I really wanted to show this off to you guys. So then we have a custom Marvel vs. Capcom Gray Hulk. So this is the variant. They only made about, I think, 7 or 8 of these, and this is one of my favorite pieces of the Hulks. Base is huge, commands a lot of presence. Then we have an empty spot for another Green Hulk that's coming. And in place right now, I just have a CGC book. When I purchase my CGC books, I don't necessarily do it as an investment. I find a cover I really like, and then I try and get, 9.4 or ultimately 9.8. So this is number 60. We have the recently reviewed and acquired XM Hulk Transformation. Awesome piece. Originally this was going to kind of be a centerpiece, but he actually is a little bit smaller than the other Hulk, so I stayed away from that. We have a custom Red Hulk General Ross. I actually have two custom Red Hulk General Rosses, completely different. This is more of a humanoid, humanistic one. I have reviewed that. And then we have kind of some offshoot pieces. Offshoot when in regards to scale, I wouldn't say these are 1/4. In fact, some of them definitely aren't. But here is the Sideshow Spider-Man vs. Hulk classic one. I've never reviewed it. I will do that for you guys. XM Hulk Bust by Troy McDevitt. Same thing, we'll review it for you guys. Then I have reviewed this custom Gray Hulk vs. Spider-Man. Got from a great collector named Bill. And then we have an empty shelf, which is always a great feeling as a collector. And then my custom Rolk, right below the other one. So this one is more of a creature-esque Hulk. He's smashing Juggernaut's head. This is my favorite Hulk piece I currently own. Very unique, custom painted. They only came as kits. And then next to it, we have a custom Maestro. Huge piece, and he pretty much destroyed everybody. I have done a review on this piece, but you can see almost every Marvel hero, or villain even, that you can think of below that he has destroyed. And then next to him is XM Studios She-Hulk. Now I talked about this in the Hulk Countdown video, why I purchased her. She's one of my least favorites of these pieces, but I think she does the job to represent a She-Hulk well. And then Sideshow's premium format Gray Hulk. And if you keep hearing those noises, that's because I get about 4 emails a minute. So here is kind of a mess. This is the recording equipment I've been using. It's kind of my secondary stuff, so you may have seen some quality issues with that. But eventually I'm gonna get better and better recording here at the office. Then right here is the Venom Wall. Actually, let me give you another take of the Hulk wall next to it. So these shelves I actually talked about in a recent video as well. I think the video is actually launching in the next day or two. Forgive me, it's about different shelving options, so stay tuned to that. So first is the piece, I actually unboxed this morning. This is a custom Hulk vs. Venom diorama. Incredibly cool piece, it's huge. It's 24 inches deep, 24 inches wide. Switch out head. Again, I haven't figured out what I'm gonna do with the switch outs. Then right here, I'm actually gonna put a Venomized Hulk I have on order that I talked about in the review I did above. But for now, it's these tiny little INF pieces. Then below is a blank shelf with some switch outs. Here, I'm actually putting a Venomized Deadpool that I should get any day actually. And the reason for that is right next to it is a Deadpool Kills Venoms. This is an extremely rare piece as well. I want to say like 10 of these were made, a few variants. I have reviewed this. Above him, we have what some people say is the best custom Venom ever made. I don't think it's the best, but definitely a contender. This is a Maniac Venom piece, has a couple different portrait switch outs. Holding Spider-Man's mask, destroyed water tower. I don't think I've reviewed him, so I will get him on the review table for you guys. And above him, we have Prime 1 Studios Venom. Some people argue the best licensed Venom ever made. Then we have a Jack of the Dust Venomized Skull. I've done a review on that. I have not reviewed the Prime 1 Venom, I will someday. And then the Sideshow Venom Bust. I do have another Venom Bust on order. It's a custom one. But he's kind of the centerpiece of this. And right below him is the Prime 1 Studios Anti-Venom, which I've never read this source material, the comics, but he just looks badass, and I got him for a great deal. And XM Studios Venom below, which I did recently review. I did keep my shirt on though, some of you will get that. Awesome classic Venom piece. Next to him is the 1/4 scale. All of these are 1/4 scale, even though this is a little overscaled. Custom Venom, kind of lethal protector type vibe going towards them with this Bagley head. Reviewed him recently. A little disappointed. Here's another custom Venom I was very pleasantly surprised by. He has some really cool switch out options. Cannot display him low though, so a little bit of a disadvantage. And we have another custom Venom up here. That's all this video is, custom Venom, custom Venom. Awesome piece. So you see a little bit of shadowing behind these. That is the light on my phone, unfortunately, because the lighting is so poor in here. I wanted to give you a decent look. Here is a Venom number 21. Again, just purchased it because I dig the cover. Then as we transition to the Spidey collection, we have a custom Bug Eater, Venom vs. Spider-Man diorama. Then we have one of my favorite Venoms, the MVC variant. I think they made 7 or 8 of these in this color. And I'll tell you in a few seconds why it's so cool that he's actually set up right here. And then last we have the XM Studios Venom bust, which I've never reviewed, but I like this because to me it's kind of the symbiote without Eddie Brock. And I have about 6 more Venoms on order. So then we transition from Venoms over to Spider-Man. And I recently did a countdown of my favorite Spider-Man pieces. Let's start up here with this custom hanging Spider-Man. I've kind of a Spider-Verse thing going on up here because then you have Sideshow's Miles Morales jumping over the Venom from another universe, and Spider-Gwen from XM Studios right behind. All these Spider-Man pieces are as well 1/4 scale. And then a custom black symbiote Spider-Man. And I recently posted a picture of these on the Extreme Channel Facebook page. I do a lot of exclusive content there, so make sure to check that out. The link is in the description. You can like and follow that page. Here is the Ace Comics CGC 9.8 I have. Again, not a lot of value to those CGC pieces, but I like the way they look. Right here, we have a custom Hobgoblin. Have reviewed this piece. I think I've reviewed all these Spider-Man pieces. I have a custom Demo Goblin coming from that group. My XM Studios Carnage. And right below them are one of my favorite Spider-Man pieces, custom Morbius, 1/4 scale. Morbius the Vampire, if you're unfamiliar with who he is, Jared Leto's playing him in an upcoming MCU movie. We have XM Studios Lizard. So when I say XM Studios, if you're new to this, that means that is the company that manufactured these. It's the brand. Then custom, like this piece right here, Doppelganger. Custom is a private unlicensed commission that they usually make less than 100. Where like that lizard that we just looked at, they made 1,000 of these because it is licensed and signed off by Marvel. Just like this Spider-Man from Sideshow Collectibles. This is their comiquette. Kind of the classic Spidey of all time. Then here is a Marvel vs. Capcom retro Spider-Man. And when I talked about the Marvel vs. Capcom Venom, I have them kind of facing off each other, even though there's a wall in the way. Down below is one of the most underrated pieces ever made is the XM Studios Mysterio. You hear XM Studios a lot because they're big on the Spider-Man line. I have a spot reserved for XM Studios Dr. Octopus. Then we have more by XM Studios, their Electro. Has a modernized portrait head, switch out, or the classic one like that right there. There's the switch out head. And their Sandman. Huge piece. I have a custom head on that. And right here I have 2 more shelves coming in because I have more statues to fill up. Again, I won't tell you, kind of a surprise. The NBA Jam that I actually never get to play. Since I've got it up in the new office, I tried to play twice, but my phone rang both times, and I don't think there's a pause button. I usually stream YouTube on this while I'm working, have it hooked up to my computer. A work desk bike I rarely use, but need to. And things like this are what keeps me going every day. Just like everyone, you have tough days professionally, personally, and you know, brick walls are there for a reason. They're there to show you how bad you want it. classic Rocky quote. Brick walls are there to keep other people out. One of my favorite quotes by Randy Pausch. It's on my desk. Then kind of just throwing stuff over here because we just moved in yesterday. My tools, space heater, fan, and a fridge full of Diet Mountain Dew right now. So this is one of the displays I'm switching up. The bottom 2 levels right now are kind of creatures. We'll look at that in a second. Then we have figures, 1/4 scale figures on the top. So let's start with Prime 1's Hunter. Well, I've never played this video game. It's a badass looking piece. Then my Court of the Dead stuff. So right here, Court of the Dead is a line by Sideshow Collectibles, and I plan to move them. We have the Jurassic Park Tyrannosaurus Rex by Prime 1 Studios with the goat. Now this piece, I can't wait to review for you guys. I've had them for a few years. This is by Queen Studios. It is their Anaconda versus Crocodile. So Queen Studios is the ones doing all those big busts now. They also do a line of animals like this. And then Infinity Studios did this great white shark, which I've reviewed for you guys as well. I used to keep him at home, but he goes really well with this animal lineup. And then from a video game I've never played, made by First 4 Figures, is this Sif Wolf. Sif is the wolf's name, holding a big ass sword. And there is my workstation. Matrix screen. Here I'm actually going to put a printer, but for now I have the Court of the Dead Apples by Sideshow Collectibles, and then Jack of the Dust Cherry Blossom Skull. Kind of neat setup in the corner there. And I have a standing workstation. I stand most of the time. Today I've been sitting because we moved, and I'm just exhausted from yesterday. Long day. Big shout out to Half Fast Reviews. If you've never seen them before, awesome channel. He actually hooked me up with this water bottle. Very cool. And right over here, my homage to the short bus. Never forget about the short bus. So right here, sorry for the blur, we move into anime. And eventually this shelf right here is just going to be DBZ and Berserk. But for now, let's look at one of my favorite pieces. This Figurama Devilman. Awesome piece. I'm going to review this for you guys soon because it's one of my favorites. I've never reviewed it, but I've owned it since it came out. Absolutely love it. Recently reviewed the piece next to it by Infinity Studios. Naruto, that's how I say it. We got Mighty Guy kicking some ass. It does have a light up feature. I probably should have turned it on. Now let's move to the Berserk pieces. So here we have Guts Armor. I recently did a review on him. And the spot next to him is vacant because Zod in human form arrives next week. But right below him is a piece I'll review for you guys sometimes. I've owned this for a couple years. This is their bloody version of the normal Prime 1 Guts in the 1/4 scale. And I like this. I mean, look, that's pretty bloody of a already bloody piece. Then below, we have my Dragon Ball Z. I've done reviews on both of these. This is a realistic take on Majin Buu. I love it, one of my favorite pieces. Next to him, we have a realistic take on Cell. Then down below here, we have some characters I'm gonna move, but we have Ifrit, the fire god. He's a custom. I'll review him for you guys sometimes. And I have him sitting next to what I call a water goddess, Aspen from Sideshow Collectibles, the exclusive version. And then you see Aridin from The Witcher. He's the only piece I have from that line, but I think he fits in with other characters like this, like fantasy characters. And speaking of fantasy, we have dragons. So this is Sindragosa, an ice dragon I recently reviewed and recently acquired. Crazy looking piece. Then by Sideshow Collectibles, their Deathwing. I need to review that as well for you. Lots of reviews coming your way. Plus we have a lot of new arrivals, so that's why you should make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit that bell notification. Custom Drogon. reviewed him as well. And lastly, we're gonna tie it out with this Infinity Studios Pilgrimage. Another dragon piece. I have a couple more dragon pieces coming in. I'm actually moving this dragon display right here. So that is it. I hope you enjoyed it. It's the newest piece to the collection. But let me switch back here for you guys. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I really appreciate it. If you haven't subscribed, hit that Mr. X logo. Not only do I do in-depth review of pieces like this, but I have tons of other cool content. Also, make sure to hit that like button on your way out if you haven't, and throw a comment below. If you throw in a comment, you actually are entered for a monthly drawing. But here's some videos of some other tours, and until tomorrow, take care.